Oh gosh dang it. Okay, so you're Killer Bunny, not Bone Carlos. Okay. I apologize if I get the names mixed up at all during this game. Good evening, everybody. My name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the Coffee Cast Amateur Attack Edition, where I pull in two nooblets from the audience and pit them against one another for my own sick entertainment. On the top side of Polar Night, and I got it right, I didn't try to say top left-hand side this time around. In that 12 o'clock position, we have Bone Carlos, who is actually Killerbunnyz as our red Terran player. And at that 6 o'clock position, we have our returning, and multiple more times returning, orange Zerg player, BalphEubank, again in that 6 o'clock position, who actually chose his race this time, which is something we, like, never, ever see BalphEubank do, so it's kind of mind-blowing, and I don't know if it's because he knows that Killer Bunny is a diamond, or if it's because well, let me try that again. If it's because he knows that Killer Bunny is a diamond and he wants to play his own strongest race as Zerg, or if it's because he's played Protoss once today and Terran once today on random, and so this time around he's just going to get Engineering Bay blocked. Ow. that hurts my soul. I'm not even a Zerg player, and that hurts my soul a little bit. Oh, are we really, Zukaman? Apparently we're coming up on 2 years of amateur attack, which also is just weird. Wow, that's... Wow. I'm gonna have to, like, write a speech or something, damn it. Whatever. It looks like we're going to be going into spawning pool and an extractor. That's the problem with trying to go hatch first, especially on these two-player maps, is that you can get punished by Engineering Bay blocked. Now, what BalphEubank is going to do, he's just going to take his natural where his third base would be, but this almost sort of forces you to take a fast 3 bases, which leaves you kind of open to mid-game attacks by the Terran player, which have been pretty popular in the grand scheme of things lately. I'm not the most up-to-date on my metagame, but 2-base Terran play is always popular. And I know SCV polls have been making their way into TvZ a little bit, as well as TVP. So Eubank going to need to be a little bit careful as to how he does play this out. The barracks, though, just now starting up. Bone Carlos, Killer Bunny. Dang it, I'm going to get this right, guys. Killer Bunny is going to be going for that CC first, I believe, in this game. Going to be dropping his Engineering Bay down back home. This Engineering Bay not even touched yet. First couple of Zerglings are going to be coming out on the map. And I love this Zergling initially ran down and around to scout out for that SCV. That was a great heads-up play by Eubank. Eubank, by the way, is one of these players that we just need. I mean, he doesn't play a ton, to my knowledge, but every single game he plays, I feel like he gets a little bit better. And Zukaman, I actually started streaming originally during fall break of my sophomore year of college, so we are not quite at the 2-year point. I think it was, no, it was Thanksgiving break. It was Thanksgiving break, because it was around Thanksgiving time. So we're getting close to 2 year, but we are not quite there yet. Layer Tech coming out for Eubank now, going to pretty much just be skipping the Roach Warren, which I think is a good call. I don't really like Roaches in TvZ. The Roach Baneling attack sometimes worked and sometimes didn't. And, I mean, I think that would have been an option in this game because he was forced to take this weird natural expansion. But I think it's the better call to go into that Lair Tech. Now, the question is, where will he be going with said Lair Tech? Apparently, Killer Bunny going to be getting a Planetary Fortress at his natural. I think that he's really scared because this base, it took so long for this Engineering Bay to die. He does not know that this third base is actually established up here as the natural instead. So I think he's thinking that Eubank is going to be going for a 1-base all-in of some sort. That, however, is not the case. And Eubank, I would assume, would be taking his actual natural fairly soon. I don't know. I would like it if he did, actually. I mean, I was just talking about how it's a little bit dangerous, but seeing as this was a 15cc into a single racks into factory, you know, we don't even have 3 racks on the field. I think it would be pretty safe going for some sort of economic opening, especially with extra queens. Extra queens will never, ever lead you astray. Tech Lab. A Tech Lab is going to be the order of the day, which means that it's either going to be Cloaked Banshees or it's going to be Hellbats with the Infernal Pre-Igniter, which is going to allow them to kill the drones in 2 hits rather than 3, I think it is. But really, I mean, it could go either way. I'm not going to call that one way or the other. I'm actually going to assume Cloaked Banshees and especially since Infernal Pre-Igniter is not being started. Yep, that is going to be Cloaked Banshees, which I think is a good move out of Killerbunnyz. The natural expansion, by the way, still not established, so going to be adding on a Baneling Nest. It looks like it might be a 2-base Baneling all-in by BalphEubank, who's also getting Ventral Sacs as well as Pneumatized Carapace. And if you guys have not seen Overlords with the new Pneumatized Carapace upgrade, they are crazy, scary, fast. It's going to make this actually a fairly potent attack. And oh man, yeah, he's pulling these Overlords in from all sides of the map. He has so many Zerglings at Baneling Corvid Reactor. He's getting the Raven's starting energy upgrade. I really don't know where Killerbunnyz is going with this strategy, but I think BalphEubank has made himself pretty clear. He wants to do some damage, and he wants to do it now. So he's a little bit pissed off, I think, about that Engineering Bay block in the early game. And really, what does Killerbunny have to stop it? He has a single Viking to try to kill off Overlords, I suppose. And he also has 4 Marines. A second Starborg going down. So it looks like Killerbunny is going to be going to Sky Terran. But I just don't know if he's going to have the time to get to that strategy. More Zerglings flooding into the south. A lot of Zerglings and Banelings up on the north side. Those Overlords are going to be moving towards that main base. Where is the Viking? The Viking is not in position to even try to pick these off. And it looks like, oh, the Viking found an Overlord, but it didn't see the Zerglings. The Zerglings were just out of sight range. This first Overlord going to be moving into the main base. Pardon me. He's going to be dropping off his payload over in that natural expansion. He needs to be careful. That first Overlord might die off, but in the meantime, the Baneling's being dropped in the main mineral line, and it gets absolutely decimated. The Viking did manage to pick off with the help of the Marines the Overlord that was going towards that natural expansion, but so much damage done in the main base, and here come more Zerglings. Here come more Banelings in from the south. They're going to be going for a Baneling bust on the supply wall, and this could go so poorly for Bunkarlers. Only one bunker there. The supply depots are down. The Banelings streaming into the middle line, and so much damage done. So many SEV kills, and we are now up to, oh my goodness, 25 workers killed by BalphEubank, and a few Zerglings getting misrouted by the odd pathing of this map. But so much damage was done there by BalphEubank, and that, I feel, is exactly what he wanted to do. 2 Ravens are now in production, 1 already on the field with Corvid Reactor, 4 starboards, but guess what? There is no economy for a 4 starboard Sky Terran play. Even with this 3rd command center on the field, he needs to get the minerals to make this into an orbital command and get as many mules out as possible, but Eubank in a great economic position. Not in a great economic position. Where the hell are your drones, Balph? What the hell, man? You could have been in such an amazing position, but it looks like he's going to be transitioning over into Spire now, which I think is an amazing choice, opening up with that Zergling Baneling attack. I loved the Pneumatized Carapace and the Ventral Sacs to drop those into that main mineral line. It would have been even more devastating if he had gotten to the natural in that first run, but the Baneling follow-up did such great damage from the 3rd base as well, that I think BalphEubank, even if he doesn't have a huge Harvester advantage, only 10 after that big attack, I think that he's still in a great position, because now Boom Carlos, A, will feel like he's reeling, B, playing a comeback game, and C, he literally does not have the infrastructure in place that he needs to come back from something like that. Yeah, he has the 1 orbital command. He has another planetary fortress. What he needs is more muling capabilities. If he had 3 orbital commands, he would be in an alright spot, but he also doesn't have any barracks on the map, so he can't produce Marines. Medevacs would be worthless right now. He's just producing lots and lots of Ravens. I think he's just going for mass Ravens this game. I don't even know what's going on anymore. This is just ridiculous at this point. And Endocrypt, welcome back. It is good to see you around. Oh no, sir. Apparently saw the mass Raven before I did. So, to that I say, humph. Fine then. Go ahead and one-up me on my own show. 6 Ravens are now out onto the map, and really nothing to stop them. There are going to be a few Spore Crawlers, and I like that reaction by BalphEubank. I think that he was guessing it was going to be mass Cloaked Banshees, as he did see all of those buildings there. He was wrong on that. No, though 3 Corruptors are going to be coming out of the field. That's a lot. Oh, wow. That could actually get some work done. These Zerglings are going to get eaten alive by these auto turrets that have 1 innate armor. Actually have a fairly decent DPS output. We can already see that 1 extractor going down. Not many of these missile turrets in range of this lair, but I mean, still look at how quickly that is going to be going down. Unfortunately for Killerbunnyz, he is not able to range that Spire. So the Spire is going to live, so we can still have the Mutals coming out on the map, which is pretty much going to be the best possible counter. Well, Spire or Corruptors, Mutals or Corruptors, for these Ravens. That being said, Seeker Missile going to be good against clumped up air units. BalphEubank going to need to be very careful about that. Couple of extra Queens in production. Zerg Flare attacks, 1 on the way. Pretty much, well, I don't know. BalphEubank looks like he's trying to transition into something normal, but I mean, can he really do anything normal against this? 16 auto turrets being thrown down in your main base? I just regret the positioning of these, because these could have actually done, I feel, so much more damage than they really did. I feel like they were kind of underutilized in their potential there. I do appreciate the recoil on this gun, though. You don't really get to see that too often. Wow, that is just so many Ravens. We still have 4 in production. High-sec auto-tracking even on the way, which is going to increase the range of missile turrets and, you guessed it, auto turrets. And Killerbunnyz is saying that his econ got smashed, but really he's doing alright right now. 44 to 43 harvesters. In fact, he's kind of evened the playing field here. It looks like, yeah, BalphEubank not too happy by that either. It looks like BalphEubank is going to be trying to establish his main or at least another third base in the back of that area. This 1 point defense drone going to hold up the Corruptors. The auto turret, the Raven's going to be coming back. He's going to be able to take out both of these evolution chambers and the spawning pool as well. My goodness, these just last so long. And remember, there is another upgrade yet that Bone Carlos could get, or Killerbunnyz could get, which is, these Zerglings are going to be trying to get this around, and actually fairly good surface area by those Zerglings, going to shut down those auto turrets. In fact, he's even going to be able to save the spawning tool, I believe, and the evolution chamber as well. There is an upgrade called Durable Materials that will give these, all of these missile turrets, I think, 2 more armor. It might be 1, I don't know. I actually don't know, because it's such an odd upgrade. Now remember, these are free units that Killerbunnyz is dropping down. These Zerglings, I mean, while they don't cost much, they do cost. And losing 39 of them is fairly palpable. And, I mean, we can see over in that units lost tab that Killerbunnyz is technically ahead right there. Technically. That being said, he was mining from a deficit for quite a bit of time as well. I don't think a single Raven has died yet in this game. One Raven has died out of 15 total still on the map. So that's still a lot of spellcasting potential for Killerbunnyz. He's even getting 4 additional command centers right now. I see 3 there. There's number 4. There's number 4 at the top of the main base. So this is just really freaking weird. I don't know what I'm getting good jobbed for. I don't know what I'm getting good jobbed for, but this is... I don't even know what to say to this. I guess... I don't know, because both Corruptors and Mutalists would be stopped by the point defense drones, as would Queens. I believe Queens get stopped by point defense drones. And it looks like, yeah, even Spore Crawler's there. So it looks like 1 Raven might go down again. No. Well, more missile turrets are going to, or auto turrets are going to be going down here. I suppose at this point, just flooding Zerglings might be the best option for BalphEubank, as the Zerglings, they're cheap, so I think they're a fairly cost-efficient way to kill these off, and they can get good surface area on them as well. And then just go for a huge Zergling counterattack, I think, would be the best way for Eubank to play this. Would be the counterattack style rather than the defensive style, and that's what he's going to decide to do right now. Zergling streaming across to the planetary fortress. Will the mass repair get down on this? No, it will not be needed, actually, as the Zerglings immediately back off. What we need is some Banelings to accompany these Zerglings, and that would make this force a little bit more potent. It looks like the workers have been pulled away from that new third base. Main base is going to be reestablished as well. Oh, the Spire. Oh my goodness, the Spire's getting so low. I don't know. I don't think the Creep's going to get there in time to save the Spire. And that would be actually kind of a nasty tech loss. We're keeping an eye on that health. In the meantime, 36 Banelings going to be morphed in again. This is about to get pretty explosive, folks, as a couple of command centers do float across the map. Looks like probably going to be an orbital command with a planetary fortress right next to it. Going to try to keep himself as safe as possible, these Banelings. I do not know. I don't think... No, yes, they do have centrifugal hooks. The Spire down, and it is going to be saved by an Overlord dropping Creep. Very nice there. These SCVs going to get taken out. Not a ton of SCVs down here, but not much for these Ravens to do about this. They need to drop Hunter Seeker missiles to take these out. Going to be dropping auto turrets instead, but the Banelings just going to roll out of range. Here comes some Zerglings on the side. The Banelings Will they be able to get the connections they need on this planetary fortress? And the answer is no! It survives with 45 hit points, and Killerbunnyz lives to fight another day. That's actually a pretty big blow to BalphEubank because he invested so much into that attack, and it almost worked, but just quite didn't. If you could have gotten that mineral line, it would have been a pretty nice difference as well. And what it turns out, the couple of banelings at the auto turrets over at the 4th base or the 5th base right here on the mini-map, the auto turrets that killed off those banelings proved to be invaluable there. And now BalphEubank, I'm sure that he's thinking the same thing as we are right now. How do you stop this? And I still think that the Zerglings would be the best bet. Hydralisk might be alright as well. I think Hydralisk might be a good combination in with Zergling and Baneling. I hear something attacking somewhere. Where are the Zerglings attacking? Oh, there they are. They're okay, they're taking out the ice. The ice next between the natural and the kind of the back 3rd base over here. This just is weird. Oh no, Sword says Infestor Queen Ultra. You know, I could see that working as well, but that's a lot of gas. That is a lot of gas. Then again, so is this. I think fungal growths would be the way to go to take this out, especially when they get clumped up like that. But I think fungal growth in Zerglings might be better than the Ultralisk, to be quite honest. Because the Ultras, I don't feel like, I mean, yeah, they would absorb the damage, but Zergling from the auto turrets. But I think Zerglings do a perfectly fine job of that. Going to be switching over, by the way, into Mutalisk, which I like because even though there aren't many missile well, let's try that again, because even though there are missile turrets, there are not many, and he can force his opponent to use energy on Hunter Seeker missiles. God, no, that's not a good comparison. I don't know, this is just really weird. The Mutalisks are not revealed there. I think they were just out of sight of that scan. Needs to be so careful. He cannot afford to lose these two Hunter Seeker missiles right now because that's a lot of gas. There goes 1 point defense drone. There goes the Hunter Seeker missiles. These units very clumped up right now. 1, 2, 3, and no number 4. So these are going to be all right for the moment. There's the number 4, 5, and 6. And by the way, Hunter Seeker missiles almost always hit unless their enemies go out of range. Oh man, even getting 2 corrupted at once there. This is looking pretty bad for BalphEubank right now. He is banking quite a few minerals. And what's his larva count? He only has 8 larvae though. He really needs more larvae. And my goodness, this is actually fairly good Raven control right now by Killerbunnyz, who's just really picking apart BalphEubank a little bit at a time here, a little bit at a time there. And more auto turrets, once again, going to be going down to that main base. Going to be trying to drop Spore Crawlers there, but that doesn't really help against these Ravens all that much because they can just drop down a couple of auto turrets and then fly away as the auto turrets kill off the Spore Crawlers. More Hunter Seekers going down. So much energy left on these Ravens, but now a couple of Ravens are starting to fall slowly but surely, I feel. We are up to 9 dead, and these Ravens are very expensive to replace, but Killerbunnyz actually has a nice little bank going up. Needs to mass repair these Ravens, though, because they are looking a little bit peaked on a few of these. In fact, what is that, 6, 7, I believe? No, just 6. 6 of these are down in the red health, which means that they can die very, very quickly. More auto turrets going down in that main base, though. So many auto turrets going down in the main base. Zerglings cannot, I mean, this small number of Zerglings cannot hope to combat that. Now the Corrupt is being brought. They're getting hit by Hunter Seeker missiles and by, I don't know, 23, 24 now auto turrets all at the same time. The auto turret placement still really is not all that good. One more Raven does go down there. But look at all these auto turrets that are out of range. Except that one. All of these auto turrets, 10 auto turrets, are not in range of anything right now. They can't really do much with the. There's 2 more. And really, this one's just killing off Spore Crawlers. Only 2 of these are in range of this hatchery down here. Which, I mean, the hatcheries are pretty important right now because they are the larva-producing facilities, which is something that BalphEubank really needs right now. He's dropped by 70 supply underneath his opponent. It's currently 95 to 50 harvesters, so a strong economy by Bone Carlos. But that means that the army supply is a little bit more even than it might originally look at first glance. Banelings and Corruptors on the ground, by the way. Nope, that's the wrong key. There's Rogue. There we go. Banelings and Corruptors on the ground right now for BalphEubank. He's going to be running over here, trying to take out a double planetary fortress. This is just not going to work. In fact, most of these Banelings not even be able to get there to connect. They did manage to take out a... Well, actually, they almost did manage to take out both of these. But it's not going to matter because they are both still going to live, and the Corruptors follow-up cannot really do any damage. Those are actually Zerglings trying to do damage, but the mass repair on the planetary fortress is going to mean that they are just fine. A base falls yet again for BalphEubank. He is just reeling in that unit's lost tab, almost down by 20,000. And I don't even know if spine crawlers would be good at this point, Zuka, man. I really, at this point, there's almost nothing that BalphEubank can do. Because he's just lost so much so far in this game. He's confined to just 3 bases. He cannot retake this main base no matter how hard he tries. Excuse me, and more auto turrets being placed down in here. And again, this is all free energy, too. So, I mean, the Ravens drop these down, they just run away. Actually going to be losing quite a few Ravens there. Going to be losing some Mutilas and Corruptors as well, but a lot of Ravens dying. And that might be what we needed still. Never mind, there are still 29 Ravens left on the field. This is just like the 4 forward placement Ravens right there. They're all low on energy anyways, actually. And there's a huge bank, at least mineral-wise, for Bone Carlos. How many? He's up to 5 starports. He has 3 orbital or 3 command centers finished up his main base. I would love to see those be turned into orbital commands and drop mules just all over the freaking place. I think that would be a nice little addition. Where are the rest of his Ravens? There they are. This is a nice fresh batch of Ravens that is not yet seeing combat. And to the Raven, I assume they're, yeah, look at that. I mean, this one Raven alone has 21 kills, 23, 17, 11. I mean, there's so many kills on all of these. On all of these Ravens that have already seen combat. And then once again, a nice fresh batch of almost full energy Ravens is going to make it very difficult. And in fact, there's even full energy Ravens in here. My gosh. And these auto turrets down here are still alive. We do have Terran building armor, which is that durable materials. We have high-sec auto tracking and Corvid reactor. All that, I mean, all that really Killerbunnyz could do at this point to improve his forces is to get some air upgrades just for the armor to make his Ravens last a little bit longer. But that being said, he doesn't need to do that, so why waste the gas on it, I guess? I mean, I guess he is almost maxed out now. But again, he could just, you know, sacrifice a few workers, call it good, and be able to get some more out. Raven's going to be coming back into the main base. They're going to be able to take out the remaining infrastructure over here. And one great thing that placing down this many auto turrets does is not only does it completely wipe out everything, but it gives the Ravens a fallback point if they do start to get assaulted. It looks like these 3 command centers are doing something. I'm not exactly sure what their purpose in life is right now. That might have been an awkward reroute. That might have been an accident. 199 to 125 supply right now. These command centers, I mean, I guess they're going to die. This actually is a decent number of banelings. If he could take out this little area down here, it'd be a start. But now there's actually a command center wall around these planetary fortresses to make it even more difficult to penetrate here. Banelings are going to be rolling into that mineral line. They're going to be able to get a few nice SCV kills. And will they be able to take out a command center? No, they will not. This one orbital command still lives. More auto turrets being dropped down now in that southwestern base for BalphEubank. That one dies off. This base in the natural expansion area, fully exposed, almost out of minerals. BalphEubank just GG's out of the game. That was such a weird game that I really don't even know how to feel about that. And on that note, I think that is a great point to end the night on.